And a good Sunday afternoon to everyone. Welcome inside Mather Park on the campus of Case Western Reserve University. Welcome to today's softball matchup between the number 10 ranked Case Western Reserve University Spartans and the visiting team today, the number 22 ranked University of Mount Union Purple Raiders. Ron Yantz along with you today on a somewhat cloudy Sunday in northeastern Ohio. The game has been delayed for 45 minutes, so the first pitch from Lexi Miskey will start right now at 1:45, and it's fouled back for strike one. Case Western Reserve comes into this softball game today, 31 wins, 6 losses. They are 16-4 and champions of the University Athletic Association. Mount Union, 32-5 overall, 15-1, and regular season champions of the Ohio Athletic Conference. Miskey's second offering, it's an off-speed pitch, swung on and missed from Sidney Mercer. That's strike two. Mercer, number 17, the right-handed hitting sophomore second baseman, is the leadoff hitter for Mount Union. She is having an incredible softball season. Mercer on the season is hitting .460 as a leadoff hitter. Fly ball, right field. That's Elena Steffes underneath it for out number one. Steffes, the first year, starting in right field this afternoon. Let's take a look at that defense for Case Western. Stevie Rieger's in left field, the senior. Kella Jagoda, the senior, in center. Steffes, Elena, the first year in right field. At third base, it's Biz Berry, the sophomore. Karen Potts, a first year at shortstop. Kai Gross, the senior, at second base. And Bella Russo, the junior, at first base. This is Miskey with one out. First pitch to Faith Rakowski, and it's on the outside corner for a strike. Miskey, the junior, on the mound, just 3 strikeouts away from becoming the all-time program leader in career strikeouts in Spartan softball history. The 0-1 pitch to Rakowski is inside, almost hit her. Faith Rakowski on the year, hitting .473. Mount Union as a team this year is hitting .377. Rakowski's at .473. Mercer, the leadoff hitter, at .460. 3 other players yet to come to the plate, also hitting above .400. The 1-1 pitch. High. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mount Union comes into this game off a loss, 5-0 to Muskingum a week ago. Yesterday. But before that, they had won 17 games in a row. Three balls, 1 strike. The count on the sophomore center fielder, Rakowski. Here comes the pitch, and that's low for ball 4.
Now batting, number 21, Adri George.
This is Adri George. George, the junior first baseman. Adri hitting .405 on the year. Mount Union loves to run. They've got 113 stolen bases as a team this year. Rakowski not running on the first pitch from Miskey to George, and it's ball 1. Rakowski on the year has attempted to steal 15 times. She's been successful 14 times. The 1-0 pitch to George, and it's a fly ball deep left field. Rieger back, and it's over her head at the wall. Stevie Rieger will hit the cutoff player, Karen Potts, and in with a stand-up double is Adri George. Rakowski checks in at third. George with the double, and Mount Union with runners at second and third with only 1 out.
Number 13, Kendall Cahill.
Adri George put a charge into that softball. Hit it over the head of Stevie Rieger, the 5'9" left fielder for the Spartans. Caitlin Lamb out of the circle talking to her pitcher, Miskey. Left-handed hitter at the plate now, the cleanup hitter, Kendall Cahill. Cahill, the opposing pitcher today. Sophomore. Cahill hitting .426 on the year. Mount Union is a team hitting .377. The first pitch to Cahill is a strike at the letters. Kendall Cahill on the season has 16 runs batted in. And she's got a real good opportunity to add to that total. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We're here in the top of the first from Mather Park. 1 game today, just a single game between these two teams. Miskie's offering. High, it's ball 2. Miskie on the year, 18-3. She's appeared in 30 games. This is her 21st start. 18 wins. The 2-1 pitch. It's outside, and it's ball 3. The first 4 in this Mount Union lineup is like Murderer's Row in the 1920s Yankees. 460, 473, 405, 426. Those are the batting averages, and that's ball 4. So 2 walks and a double have loaded the bases for the Purple Raiders here in the top half of the first. Now hitting with the bases loaded, the designated player. That is junior Tori Sikafus. Sikafus is hitting .290. Infield's in. Corners in tight. Middle infielders at the depth of the base pass. Here comes Miskie's first offering. And it's right down Main Street for strike 1. Miskie's second pitch with movement high and outside counts even at 1. Nowhere to put Tori Sikafus. On at third is Rakowski. At second is Adri George, and Cahill's on at first. Miskie's pitch outside corner away. It's ball 2. Miskie and her teammates trying to get an out. There's only 1. Bases are loaded. The 2-1 pitch. Bunt right back at Miskie. Play at the plate, no play. Play at first, no play there. Everybody's safe. That's a bunt for a base hit for Sikafus. Run scores. It was Rakowski who scored. Adri George is now at third. Kendall Cahill at second. And Faith Kiko will step to the plate. This Mount Union team was shut out yesterday in the loss to Muskingum. It appears they're getting their frustrations worked out in the top half of the first here at Case Western. Kiko, the sophomore catcher. First pitch, fouled back. No, not fouled back. Was it fouled back? I didn't see the umpire throw the hands up, and either did the base runner, Adri George. But it is a foul. Both Megan Simons, the head coach, the third base coach, and the runner were as confused as I. Miskey steps away. The count's 1 ball, no strikes. So the count, the scoreboard says it's a ball. It would be a strike. Because if it's a ball, then it's a pass ball for a run. So everybody's talking about it, and everybody's got an opinion in Mather Park right now. So the home plate umpire confirms it was a foul ball, so the count's 0-1. For a moment there, it was excitement. It all comes back to the scoreboard operator, doesn't it? No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Miskey on the mound. Faith Kiko in the right-handed batter's box, and here comes the pitch. Miskey not getting the locations that she wants in this first inning. That pitch was called a ball. Spartans need a double play. Miskey's next pitch, line drive. That will not be a double play. That's a solid single to left. And Rieger's throwing to third, and the Purple Raiders have another run.
Next up for Mount Union, number 5, Lydia Brunner.
So Adri George scores on the Kiko RBI single. Base is still loaded, still just 1 out. And at the plate, the 7th hitter of the inning, Lydia Brunner. Brunner, the sophomore shortstop. High and inside, swinging strike. Brunner on the year hitting .276. Next pitch inside. Nice stop by Caitlin Lamb. Lamb behind the plate, the junior. Miskey, the junior, on the mound. 2 runs in so far for Mount Union. Miskey's pitch is high. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Purple Raiders 32-5 on the year, ranked 22 in the country. The Spartans 31-6, ranked number 10. Miskey's 2-1 pitch. Fly ball infield, that's an infield fly, and that's an out for Bella Russo. 2 down in the inning. That is a big out.
Now batting for Mount Union, number 16, Caitlin Culver.
Now here's the way that this lineup has been assembled by Mount Union's head coach Megan Simons. She starts off with 4 400 hitters, 1 through 4, and then has a gap of 3 hitters that are sub 300, and then she finishes 8 and 9. Caitlin Culver, the 8 hitter, is hitting 397. She'll slap and foul it off. And Kendall Hahn, should the Purple Raiders get to her this inning, is hitting 402. A lot of times coaches will back end or load up the back end of their batting order, so they almost have, in effect, 2 leadoff spots, the number 1 hitter and the number 9 hitter. And that's exactly what Mount Union does with Megan Simons, their head coach. This is Culver at the plate. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. The rising fastball, it's 0-2. Bases full of Purple Raiders. Miskey, the 0-2 pitch, and it's strike 3. What a huge strikeout for Alexi Miskey. So the inning's over, and the damage is limited to just 2 runs for Mount Union. They have 3 hits. They were also walked twice. They leave the bases loaded. Case Western Reserve coming to bat. It's 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. 2-0 Mount Union as Case Western Reserves
Number 12, Karen Potts.
is up to get their first at bat and their first look at Mount Union junior pitcher Kendall Cahill. Cahill on the year in the circle. Marks her 19th start today. She is 16-2 on the year with an earned run average of 1.30. This is Karen Potts, the first-year leadoff hitter for the Spartans. And that pitch is low and outside for ball 1. Potts on the year is hitting .412. Cahill in 112 and 2/3 innings has struck out 119 opponents. The 1-0 pitch. Karen Potts in 119 at-bats has 49 hits this year. Leads the team in hits with 49. Leads the team in runs scored with 38. Cahill checks the wristband. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. And it's inside. And the count moves to 3-0. Cahill has walked only 12 batters this year in 112 innings. And that's low for ball 4. So that her only 13th walk, this now in her 113th inning. Brings to the plate the senior hitting second baseman Kai Gross.
Number 17, Kylie Gross.
Potts on first base has 22 stolen bases. Behind the plate is Faith Kiko for Mount Union, and it's strike 1 from Kai Gross. Opposing runners this year against Mount Union catchers have been successful 16 times in only 23 attempts. And there goes Potts. Ground ball up the middle off the glove of Cahill. Potts is safe, and so is Gross. That's an infield single, and everybody's on base. I got to say this. If that ball doesn't hit the glove of Cahill, I think it might be a tailor-made double play because Mercer, the second baseman, was moving to the bag to take the throw as Potts was stealing. And she would have been in perfect position to field that ball at the bag, step on it, and throw to first. So the Spartans fortunate that Cahill got a glove on it. Showing bunt. Bunt is down and foul. It hit Stevie Rieger, but she was in the batter's box, so it's just a foul ball. This is Rieger. And we've seen Stevie Rieger, the number 3 hitter, who also leads the team in hitting, do this before, and that's sacrifice bunt. She's hitting .425. The 0-1 pitch, swinging away, she got drilled. She got smoked. I don't know if it hit her rib cage on the left side or if it hit her arm, but it hurts. So Stevie's holding her left tricep right above her elbow. I don't know if she got hit on that elbow or if she got hit on the muscle. But that pitch was coming, and it was rising inside, and Rieger had no opportunity to get away from it. So, just as Mount Union had done in the top half of the first, the Spartans have loaded the bases here in the bottom half. And at the plate for Case Western is their number 4 hitter, sophomore third baseman Biz Berry. Cahill getting a little rosin. Biz Berry will step to the plate.
Now batting for your Spartans, number 6, Biz Berry.
Berry on the year, 373 hitter. Cahill looks in for the sign. Here comes the pitch. Fly ball right field. Tagging at third is Potts. Caught in right, throw to the plate. Potts will slide safe. We've got a runner hung up between first and second. And now Kai Gross is going to get back to third. Everybody's safe. Nobody was covering first base. So Stevie Rieger was not threatened to get back to the bag. So the pop fly to right by Berry, caught by Kendall Hahn, scores Karen Potts. And the Spartans are on the scoreboard. Kai Gross tagged and went from second to third. So Berry with the sac fly to right and the run batted in.
Now batting for your Spartans, number 11,
And that brings Bella Russo, the junior first baseman, to the plate. Let's see if Rieger's off and running on this first pitch. Kiko behind the plate. Gross is at third base running. And there goes Rieger. And the throw is down. Stevie's going to get in a rundown throw to the plate. Slide out! What a play by that Mount Union defense. And that is the first time that I've actually seen that play work. Mount Union ran it to perfection. So Gross is out at the plate. And that is the second out of the inning. Rieger is on at second. And now Russo will need a 2-out hit to tie the game at 2. This game already has a playoff-type atmosphere and feel to it. You can almost feel the tension in the crowd. I mean, every pitch, every play, every hit. And we're in the first inning. Both teams with over 30 wins. Both teams champions of their conference. The 1-0 pitch, it's low for ball 2. Russo on the year hitting .337. Bella Russo is tied for the team lead with 2 triples this year. I mean, her teammates will take a single, but... And that's at the letters for strike 1. A triple would be beautiful. Two outs, runner at second. It's Stevie Rieger. Kendall Cahill, the junior, on the mound, pitching to Russo, the junior, at the plate. Here comes the pitch. Base hit. Rieger will round third. They'll wave her in. Throw in from left field won't be in time. They'll check out Russo at second. And Bella Russo with a huge single to left with 2 outs ties the game at 2. That's huge. Especially the way that Mount Union started this game. They sent 8 batters to the plate in the first inning. Spartans held them to only 2 runs. And then to come back here in the bottom half and answer with 2 of their own. Steffes is at the plate. Elena, the first-year right fielder. That's Russo on at first. Bella with that huge 2-out single to tie the game at 2. One-0 pitch outside. It's ball 2 to Elena Steffes. Steffes has played in 31 games so far this year for the Spartans as a first-year player. 59 at-bats in 31 games. She's got 21 hits. 12 of those 21 are doubles. The 2-0 pitch, changeup. And that's a strike. Boy, you could see the laces out of the hands of Cahill that time. She almost froze the softball as it came to the plate. Russo on at first, 2 outs, the 2-1 pitch. Fouled back by Steffes, counts even at 2. First inning, Mount Union with 2 runs, Spartans with 2 runs. Cahill looks into her dugout, has the pitch, here we go. Inside on the hands of Steffes, it's fouled back, and count stays at 2-2. Sixth batter of the inning for the Spartans. Mount Union had a huge play at the plate on an attempted steal at second. They got Kai Gross out at home. That was the second out. Staying alive is Steffes with that foul ball out of play. The 2-2 pitch from Cahill. Rolled over, ground ball, third base, off her knees. Across the field is Emily Denny to Adri George, and the inning is over. But the Spartans score 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave a runner, and we head to the top of the second. Game is tied 2-2. Welcome to the top half of the second. The first inning took almost a half hour to play. I think we were officially on the clock at 1:45, and it's now 2:10. 5 hits, couple of walks, couple of great plays, 4 runs, and we're starting from 0. Game's still tied. Instead of scoreless, it's 2-2. Showing bunt, pulling back, and it's ball 1. At the plate for Mount Union, their number 9 hitter, Kendall Hahn, the freshman right fielder. But when your number 9 hitter is hitting .402 on the season, it's really like having back-to-back leadoff hitters. Hahn's hit .402 in nearly 90 at-bats. So it's not like she's 4 for 10. The 1-0 pitch from Miskey. And that's high for ball 2. I think if you're Lexi Miskey, mentally, you want to get off to a great start in this second inning. I mean, it was a deep exhale in the bottom half of the top half of that first, the bottom half of the order, when Miskey was able to get a strikeout and a pop-up to end the threat. And that's outside for ball 3. So here's the problem. If you put that leadoff hitter on, Mount Union then sends to the plate hitters that go .460, .473, .405, .426. The 3-0 pitch, you need a strike, and they didn't get it.
Next up for the Purple Raiders, number 17.
So it's the top of the order for Mount Union. Sydney Mercer, who leads the team in nearly every offensive category. Mercer's hitting .460, second on the team. Has scored 50 runs, leads the team. Has 57 hits, leads the team. Has 10 doubles, second on the team. 5 triples, leads the team. 7 home runs, leads the team. 43 runs batted in, leads the team. Miskie's first pitch, and that's a base hit to center field. Rounding second, looking to third, but holding is Kendall Hahn, and Mount Union with runners at first and second.
Next up for Mount Union, number 26, Faith Rakowski.
Faith Rakowski now at the plate. Rakowski walked and scored in her first at bat in that first inning. Rakowski leads the team in hitting .473. Shows bunt, drops it down. Nice play. The out at first. The sacrifice is complete for Mount Union, and the Spartans get the out. Barry over to Gross.
Next up for Mount Union, number 21, Adri George.
Adri George is at the plate. George had a double over the head of Stevie Rieger in her first at bat. Hahn's on at third. Changeup first pitch is called for a strike. Kendall Hahn at third. Sydney Mercer at second. At the plate, Adri George. Miskey in the circle for the Spartans. Game's tied at 2. The 0-1 pitch. Little flare. Potts with it at shortstop, and that is a huge out for the second out of the inning. Miskey jammed to George, and the soft little liner fell into the glove of Karen Potts. If you're Miskey, you really got to bear down now, just like she did in the top half of that first. Cahill, the cleanup hitter at the plate. She walked and was stranded at third in that first inning. The first pitch is strike one. Miskey battling in the circle. The junior, 2-time UAA pitcher of the year. The 0-1 pitch to Cahill. Try to get Kendall to chase. She does not. It's pitcher to pitcher right now, and 2 very successful ones. Miskey on the year, 18-3. Cahill on the year, 16-2. I said it before, I'll say it again. This game has every type of atmosphere to it, just like a playoff. Inside pitch. Cahill hit that one a long way. That is way, way foul. It's just a strike, though. It's just a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Miskey looks into her catcher. Caitlin Lamb, here comes the pitch. Change up high. It's taken for ball 2. A lot of noise out of that Mount Union dugout. They have been standing since the first pitch. Miskey outside and low. Counts now full. So the cat and mouse game between the 2 pitchers has reached a deciding point. 3 balls for Cahill, 2 strikes for Miskey. 2 outs, 2 on for Mount Union. Here comes the full count pitch. Outside corner, tough one to take, but it's called a ball. Miskey thought she had the strikeout.
Now batting for Mount Union, number 24,
Tori
Tori Sikafus.
Sikafus comes to the plate. Sikafus in her last at bat bunted one back in front of the plate that Miskey had a long way to come to, and it ended up being just a base hit that scored a run. She's back up again with the bases loaded. The first pitch, fouled back, strike 1. Well, Sikafus came to the plate with a plan. In her head, she had to be saying, listen, Miskey just walked the bases loaded. The last thing she wants to do is start me with a ball. So I'll probably get a first pitch. Strike. So Sikafus was sitting on dead red right down the middle. She almost smoked one. Second pitch, fly ball deep. Stevie Rieger back to the wall and got it at the warning track. Stevie Rieger tracked that softball well, and the inning is over. The Raiders leave the bases loaded. No runs. They had a hit. We'll go to the bottom half of the second. Game's tied at 2. All right, here we go. Bottom of the second. Listen, check your heart rate in this one. I mean, it's a fantastic softball game. This is Kayla Nutter at the plate for the Spartans. Game's tied at 2. We're in the bottom half of the second. Cahill on the mound, Nutter at the plate. Here comes the pitch, and it's right down the pike, or pipe, or Main Street, or pick your description. Strike 1. Right down Euclid Avenue if you're from Cleveland. Nutter has had a couple of real nice home appearances. She rolls one over for strike 2. She pinch hit with 2 outs and hit a 2-run home run in a 2-0 game against Carnegie Mellon. And then the next day she came back and hit another home run, both to left field, both almost at the foul pole, and both as high as they were deep. It's an 0-2 pitch coming from Cahill. Nutter goes down and gets it. Shortstop picks it. Bruner's throw across to George is an out. And Kayla Nutter's down 6-3. That'll bring Caitlin Lamb to the plate. Lamb, the catcher for the Spartans, the junior.
Next up for your Spartans, number 2, Caitlin Lamb.
Caitlin on the year, hitting .259. Outside corner for strike 1 for Cahill. If you look at Cahill's numbers, I had said earlier when she walked Karen Potts to lead the game, that was a rare occurrence for her. She's only 13 walks and now her 114th inning. And that goes along with 119 strikeouts. Pitch to Lamb is fouled back, 1 ball, 2 strikes. In 114 innings, she has given up only 21 extra base hits, 19 doubles and 2 triples. She has yet to give up a home run this year. I take that back. She has. She's given up 10 home runs, actually. I saw the 0, didn't see the 1. That's fouled back. But opponents this year against Kendall Cahill are hitting just .202. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Cahill with the pitch. She'll rock and fire, and here it comes. Ground ball back up the middle. Bruner, nice scoop, good throw. And it's out number 2 of the inning. 2 ground balls to the shortstop. That brings Kella Jagoda, the center fielder, to the plate. You look at that Mount Union defense. Left field, Culver, a sophomore. Center field, Rakowski, a sophomore. Right field, Hahn, a first-year player. Shortstop, Bruner, sophomore. Second baseman, Mercer, sophomore. Third baseman, Denny, sophomore. First baseman, George, a junior. That is strike 1 to Jagoda. Kiko, the catcher, is a sophomore, and Cahill, the pitcher, is a junior. There are only, I counted them before, I think just 2 seniors on this roster. It is a youthful roster. Jagoda running up on it, fouling it back, counts 0-2. So 2 seniors, and if you look at the juniors, 3 juniors. It's a bunch of sophomores and freshmen on this Mount Union team. Two up, 2 down so far, 2 strikes on the number 9 hitter, Jagoda. Game's tied at 2. We're in the second inning. Jagoda steps into the box. Cahill has the pitch from the dugout. Here we go. And Jagoda swung at it. Cahill got the pitch she wanted. Jagoda went for it. And we head to the top of the third. 3 up, 3 down for the Spartans. It's 2-2. Top of the third, Mount Union will lead off this inning with Faith Kiko. Kiko, the catcher. Kiko had a base hit in her first at bat, knocked in a run. Miskie's pitch, it's strike 1. Lexi Miskey came into today in her career, this is her 3rd year in the circle for the Spartans, with 529 career strikeouts. She's got 1 so far today in 2 innings, so she's got 530. And that's a fly ball to Jagoda, straightaway center, Kella back, and it's the first out of the inning. I point out the total because it's a storyline for today's game. Lexi came into the day only 3 away from becoming the all-time program leader in career strikeouts. Ruth Segarts had 531, or finished her career, which spanned 4 seasons from 2006 to 2009 with 531 career strikeouts. Miskey with 530 as she stands in the circle in the 3rd inning. Back to Russo over to Kai Gross, and that's a real nice bang-bang play on a drag bunt for the 2nd out of the inning.
Now batting for Mount Union, number 6, Caitlin Culver.
The movement by the right side of that Spartan infield was picture perfect that time. Russo to Gross. brings Caitlin Culver to the plate. Culver, the number 8 hitter, struck out swinging in her first at bat. Miskey rocks and fires. It's high. It's fouled back. That rise ball got inside on Culver, and she had no opportunity of getting up on top of it. Culver, the sophomore hitting left fielder. Miskey, the junior, in the circle. The 0-1 pitch. Thought about it. This time was able to pull back. One ball, 2 strikes. Miskey 1 strike away from her second strikeout of the game and second strikeout of Culver. Lamb behind the plate. It's Miskey to Lamb. The pitch is a 1-2 count. Here it comes. And no chase from Culver. Counts even at 2. A year ago, these two teams played in the NCAA opening round of the tournament here at Case Western. A game Mount Union won 3-2. Miskey. It's ball 3. The full count pitch. Inside, it got in on the hands of Culver, and Caitlin did a nice job of just fouling that one off. Miskey looking for strikeout 531 in her career. Culver trying to keep the inning alive. Here comes the pitch. It's a pop-up. Jagoda out in center field looking into the sun, but she's got those cool shades on, and that's the third out of the inning. We head to the bottom of the third. It was a 1-2-3 inning for the Spartan defense, and the game's tied at 2. Leading off the bottom of the third, Karen Potts, and Potts rolls one over to second base, and that's an easy out for the Purple Raiders to start this bottom half of the third. Sydney Mercer over to Adria George. Cahill has now retired 5 batters in a row.
Now batting number 17.
This is Kai Gross. Gross had an infield hit in the first inning, got to third, then got thrown out at the plate on a steal play. Rieger left from first base, got caught in a rundown. Gross tried to score on it, and the Purple Raiders threw her out in a bang-bang play at home plate. No ball, one strike. Here comes the second pitch offering from Cahill. It's outside. Counts even at 1. Game's tied at 2. Both teams with 2 runs in the first inning. Bottom of the third. Kai Gross. This one to Mercer, who had a tough time handling it. Fast Eddie Karakis, the sports information director and official scorer here at Mather Park, is taking a look at the play. He'll make the official ruling. I do know this. Kai Gross is on at first base for Stevie Rieger.
Now batting for your Spartans, number 20, Stevie Rieger.
Rieger, in her first at bat, got smoked on the left elbow. She eventually scored, and she's at the plate now taking outside for ball 1. Officially ruled as an error on Mount Union second baseman Sidney Mercer. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. That's Kai Gross on at first in a 2-2, bottom of the third game. And that outside pitch is ball 2. Stevie Rieger on the year hitting .425. Second on the team in hitting. Second on the team with 45 hits. Leads the team in doubles with 14. Here comes the pitch. And that's low for ball 3. Rieger is second on the team this year in home runs with 4. Kai Gross, her teammate, who's on at first base, has 7. Between Rieger and Gross, they are number 1 and 2 in both home runs and runs batted in. Rieger in a hitter's count. Here comes the pitch. It is inside for a called strike. Gross at first base, not that you'd be stealing on a 3-1 count, is 16 of 19 this year in stolen base attempts. Gross was going, and Gross is out. That's a tough pitch to steal on because at 3-1, you know the pitcher's going to give the catcher a good pitch to handle. A good pitch to handle, a good pitch to step up and throw to. So now with 2 outs and Rieger on a full count, waved at 1, and they're going to check at first base, say she did not go. So the next pitch after the throw out at second base, Rieger walks.
Now batting for your Spartans, number 6, Biz Berry.
So Biz Berry's at the plate. Berry in the game hit a sacrifice fly to right field that knocked in Stevie Rieger back in the first inning and tied the game at 2. Rieger's on at first. 2 outs, Berry at the plate. Here comes Cahill's pitch. Line drive, base hit, straight up the middle. Biz Berry obviously sitting on a fastball, got it, and smoked it to straightaway center. Bella Russo will come to the plate. Bella Russo, last time she was up, had a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Her team down a run at 2-1 and came through with a solid base hit to left field to score and tie the game at 2. She's back in a similar spot. 2 outs, runner in scoring position. Russo at the plate. That pitch is outside for ball 1. Cahill gets the pitch, rocks and fires. Russo swings and fouls it out of play. Counts even at 1. Seven hits in the game, 4 runs. Both teams with 2 runs. Mount Union with 4 hits. Spartans looking for their 4th. The pitch. Russo, little floater. That's going to fall for a hit. Russo again, a 2-out run-scoring single. And how about the afternoon Bella Russo's having?
Next up for your Spartans, number 25, Elena Steffes.
Russo 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in. Both of them in key 2-out moments. Elena Steffes at the plate. Cahill's pitch. Outside for ball 1. Steffes in her first at bat hit a ground ball to third base for the 3rd out of the 1st inning. Rock and fire in the dirt. 2-0 to the first-year player. Steffes has seen a lot of time in Coach Henry's lineup this year as a first-year player. She's actually 3rd on the team in doubles with 12. 2-0 pitch. And that's on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Spartans have taken a 1-run, 3-2 lead here in the 3rd on a 2-out single by Bella Russo. The 2-1 pitch to Steffes. Same spot, strike 2, throw back, and getting back was Biz Berry. Counts even at 2. There are 2 outs. Spartans with 2 runners on. Cahill to Steffes. High strike, swing and a miss. We head to the top of the 4th, but Case Western Reserve gets a run, and they take a 3-2 lead.
Leading off for Mount Union, number 2, Kendall Hahn.
Top of the 4th here from Mather Park on the campus of Case Western Reserve. On an early May Sunday. A beautiful day. A day that started with some thunder and a little bit of rain, delayed the game for 45 minutes. The 1 o'clock start was delayed to 1:45. We're here in the 4th, and this is Kendall Hahn at the plate. First pitch from Miskey is high and inside for ball 1. Hahn, the number 9 hitter, freshman right fielder, hitting .402 on the year. She walked in her first at bat. Got all the way to 3rd and was left stranded there. Walks up on the second pitch and takes it for strike one. Mount Union in the first inning left the bases loaded. They had scored 2 runs, but left the bases loaded. In the second inning, they did not score and left the bases loaded. The 1-1 pitch, jam job, it's strike 2. Hahn on the season, statistically, one of the toughest Purple Raiders to strike out. Of the regular players, she has struck out the least, 6 times in 90 at-bats. Miskey has her 1-2 in the count. Miskey looking for her 531st strikeout. That would tie a program record. Rolling over on another pitch and another foul ball is Hahn. Mount Union as a team has struck out only 110 times in 936 plate appearances. Back up the middle, Miskey will field it, fire, and the first out of the inning.
Now batting for Mount Union, number 17, Sydney Mercer.
Top of the order for Mount Union. Leadoff hitter for the Purple Raiders, this is Sydney Mercer. Mercer in her 3rd at bat, she's 1 for 2. Flew out to right and hit a solid single to center field. Miskey started her off speed and just had a laugh because Mercer murdered that softball. Lexi's like, she looked at her catcher, Caitlin Lamb, said, I don't think I'm going to throw that one again. Those are the ones you get away with. It's a strike. Counts 0-1. Signals in. Here comes the pitch. Inside, under the hands, and high. It's ball 1. Next pitch, that's another solid single. Could turn into a double. Ball in the gap to the wall. Mercer with a stand-up double with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. I don't know how you get that young lady out.
Now batting for Mount Union.
Now, I don't know what the competition is like in the OAC as far as player of the year, but I would think that Mercer has got to be one of the leading candidates. She has had a sensational offensive season. She's on at second. Purple Raiders are down a run. This is Faith Rakowski with the first pitch, and she shows slap and gets it to catch the very tip of the bat for strike 1. Rakowski not yet an official at bat. She walked in the first, sacrifice, ground ball to third in the second. Oh, 1 pitch is that high heat. Not many people have been able to get on top of that Miskey rise ball. So if you're Lexi and if you're her catcher, Caitlin Lamb, you ask yourself, do we go rise ball again? Signals in. Here comes the pitch. And that went in on the hands. Little movement on that. Wasn't a fastball. It was more like a cutter. I don't know if she throws a cutter either, Eddie. Fast Eddie Karakas, our sports information director. But I wouldn't call it a fastball, and it certainly wasn't a changeup, and it had movement. Here comes another pitch. That one moving away from the hitter, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll have to ask Lexi. You know, it's funny when you talk to pitchers in softball, you know, especially when you're at the level of, you know, a really good high school pitcher or a college pitcher. They'll tell you they've got 5 or 6 different types of pitches. And then if you look at their head coach, they'll say, but I really only want them to use 2 or 3. Ball gets away from Lamb, and getting down to third base and putting herself into scoring position is Sydney Mercer. So the 0-2 goes to 2-2, and Mercer's now in scoring position with 1 out. She is the tying run on at third base. We're in the top of the 4th. And new life at the plate for Faith Rakowski. Here comes the pitch. Fly ball, Jagoda, center field. Kella will catch. Mercer will score. And that pass ball leads to the tying run. Wait a second. They're going to say that she left early. That's a huge play. I looked down to mark the score, looked up, and they had appealed the play at third, and they said that Mercer left early, the umpires, and the inning is over on a fly ball to Jagoda and a double up on a runner that left early. So we head to the bottom of the 4th. Spartans still with a 1-run lead. Want to take a moment to recognize everybody in the press box with me today. We've got Jenna, the public address announcer. Jenna, a psychology major here from Connecticut. Next to Jenna, running the at-bat music, is Nick. Nick, a civil engineering major from Pittsburgh. And then next to Nick, running the scoreboard, is Charlie. Charlie, a electrical engineer major from Chicago. And then there's me and the humble Fast Eddie Karakas. That's your lineup in the press box today. Bottom of the 4th, Spartans with a 1-run lead. Kayla Nutter at the plate, and a 1-0 pitch is low. It's 2-0. Kendall Cahill in her 4th inning has given up 3 runs on 4 hits. Nutter, fly ball, left field, gone! Kayla Nutter got into a fastball and it smoked it. I think I'm Kayla's good luck charm. Every time I call a game, she hits a home run to left field. I hope her mom and dad are watching. That solo shot leading off the 4th gives the Spartans a 2-run lead. It's 4-2.
number 2, Caitlin Lamb.
This is Caitlin Lamb at the plate, the catcher. Lamb grounded out to shortstop in the second inning, her only at bat. Nutter for the year. That was her sixth hit overall, and her third home run. When she gets a hit, she makes it count. Right back at Cahill. First out of the inning, 2 hard hit softballs. One that left the park and one that didn't get past the circle. That brings to the plate the number 9 hitter, center fielder, the senior, Kella Jagoda. There is a violation on Kella Jagoda, and she is penalized with a strike. Cahill's 0-1 pitch is high. It's even now 1-1. And I'm not entirely sure what the violation was. Jagoda slap, single to left field. Boy, just did a nice job of keeping her hands inside that pitch and just placing it perfectly between the shortstop and third baseman. So 1 down, 3 hard hit softballs in this inning.
Now batting for your Spartans, number 12, Karen Potts.
Potts at the plate, the leadoff hitter. Karen swung at the first offering in her second at bat and grounded out to second. Looks at this one on the outside corner for strike 1. Potts on the day walked and scored in the first, grounded out to second in the third. Karen came into the day hitting .412. Looking for her 50th hit of the year. The 0-1 pitch a little further outside. This one for ball 1. I'm glad to see that Sports Information Director Fast Eddie Karakis made it back for today's game. He was at the Kentucky Derby yesterday, sipping on mint juleps. There's a base hit up the middle for Potts, her 50th of the year, and the Spartans have runners at first and second. Fast Eddie, how was the Derby? It was exciting. Photo finish. I won't ask Eddie if he placed a bet on the Derby, but he has a 3-piece suit on today, so he must have earned a couple of bucks in Kentucky yesterday. Giorgio Armani. One out. Spartans up 2. Bottom of the 4th. 2 on for Kai Gross. Gross didn't like it. Umpire did. It's strike 1. The Derby ended with the winner winning by a nose and the third place finisher losing by half a head, I think. It was the closest finish. I read the story this morning. I think it was since like 1940 something. No balls, 2 strikes on Gross. 1 out. The senior Kai at the plate facing the junior Cahill. Here's the offering. That's in the right-handed batter's box, and they've got a runner caught up between first and second and third and out. They're going to say safe. So out of the dugout and ready to sprint was Megan Simons. because looking like it was not even close at third base was Kella Jagoda. And they're going to get permission, Simons will, to go down and talk to the third base umpire about it. In the meantime, if the play stands, Jagoda will be on at third. There will still be one out. They've given Simons, the head coach of Mount Union, a warning. And the play will stand. So at first, watching the paint dry, was Karen Potts, and she stays there. While the play was happening, she had a front row view, but didn't advance to second. And I can say this. The Spartans should stop messing around with the arm of Faith Kiko, the sophomore catcher, because she is outstanding. So Jagoda runs, and Jagoda is caught up now between, nope, she's going to get back to third. Boy, a fielder's choice, little ground ball back to the third baseman, Emily Denny. Jagoda had left on contact and then decided it wasn't a good idea. And Denny's fielding of the ground ball was far enough off the third baseline that Jagoda had a window to get back to third base.
Now batting for your Spartans, number 20, Stevie Rieger.
So fortune has smiled on the Spartans more than once in this bottom half of the fourth inning. This is Stevie Rieger, the three-hitter. Fastball, that's a smoke shot down the left field line. It's going to score 2. It might score 3. Kai Gross rounding third. She's coming home, and Kai Gross will score. Stevie Rieger just knocked in 3 runs. Rieger cleared the bases. And the Mount Union fans are letting the officials have it. They are letting the umpires have it because the fortune that smiled on Case Western, to the Spartans' credit, they took advantage of it, and they made Mount Union pay. It is now 7-2 Spartans with still one out, and Rieger on at second base. So Biz Berry comes to the plate.
Now batting for your Spartans, number 6, Biz Berry.
Berry 1 for 1 on the day. Had a sacrifice fly that knocked in a run in the first and then singled to center in the third. Fastball outside for ball 1. There is an opportunity for these two teams to see each other again within the month in the NCAA tournament. Second pitch is low, ball 2. Statistically, Cahill's the ace of this staff. 16-2, her 19th start. Earned run average at 1.30. But Chloe Bird has also been really, really good. That's a foul ball, strike 1. Bird, 12-1. 1.67 earned run average. Kind of like the Spartans with Miskey and Hosey. 1 out. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. Fly ball, center field. Rakowski over her head. Rieger rounds and scores. Play at the plate. Rieger's safe. Throw down to second. And Biz Berry's there with an RBI double. So Barry with a big hit. Another double for the Spartans. And a new pitcher will come in for Mount Union. So this is Haley McCullough. Kendall Cahill's day is done. It's not statistically over yet with a runner on at second base. But at this moment, she has given up 8 runs in 4 innings on 9 hits. And here in the 4th, specifically, the Spartans have had 5 of those 9 hits. In this inning, they have a home run by Nutter, a single by Jagoda, single by Potts, double by Rieger, and a double by Bisberry.
Second pitcher. Okay. You can free announce them. New pitcher, new runner at second. Who's the new runner at second?
Tara Fritcher is running for Case Western. She will run for Bisberry at second base.
Attention fans, now pitching for Mount Union, number 23, Haley McCullough. Also, now running for your Spartans, number 3, Tara Fritcher.
On the season, Hallie McCullough has appeared in this her 9th game. She started only 2. She's thrown 13 innings, given up 11 hits in those 13 innings, and 7 runs, 6 of them earned. Her earned run average, 3.23. In the 13 innings, she struck out 10 and walked 9. And the first batter she will face is the junior, left-handed hitting first baseman, Bella Russo. Russo is having a day. She is 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in, both of those RBI coming with 2 outs in key situations, with the game still very tight when Russo tied the game at 2 and then put the Spartans into the lead with her second RBI. First pitch is at the letters for strike 1. Different situation here for Russo. Runner in scoring position again, but now her team with a 6-run lead and only 1 out. Outside, counts even at 1. Two-one the count to Bella Russo. Spartans with 9 hits, they've got 8 runs. Mount Union had a first inning where they sent 8 batters to the plate, scored just twice, left the bases loaded. Second inning, they loaded the bases again, didn't score, left them loaded. Fly ball, foul territory, falls safely or harmlessly. 2 balls, 2 strikes with Russo, 1 out. Those early missed opportunities coming back to haunt the Purple Raiders as this game has gone on. I mean, they had an opportunity in that first inning to just knock Lexi Miskey out of the circle for good. To Miskey's credit, she ended that first inning with a pop-up to her first baseman, Russo, and a strikeout. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Russo, solid line drive, center field, over the fence, over the head of the center fielder, and Russo checks into second with her 3rd RBI of the game. So that's Fritcher that scored. Russo, 3 for 3 today with 3 runs batted in.
Now batting for your Spartans, number 25, Elena Steffes.
Steffes at the plate with Russo on at second, 1 out. Spartans up 7. They have suddenly exploded for 6 runs here in the 4th inning. That pitch gets by everybody. And now at third base is Russo. One ball, no strikes. Now on at third in scoring position with just 1 out is Bellarusso. Here comes the pitch. And there's more conversation, and this time it centers around Mount Union's pitcher. And I think one of the Purple Raider coaches has been thrown out. The home plate umpire is walking that coach to the parking lot. And in danger, I think, are several fans of being tossed as well. I'm not certain how one fan has remained in attendance, to be honest with you. One coach is out. The head coach already has been warned. It's 9-2. If Steffes can get this run in, and it's Russo on at third, and put the Spartans up 8, they could close the game out in the top half of the 5th. Here comes the pitch. It's 3-0. Haley McCullough in the circle. The 3-0 pitch to Steffes, and that's strike 1. Haley McCullough again. Count is full. McCullough has worked her way back to a full count with 1 out. Steffes just trying to put the ball in play, specifically if she can push it to the right side of the infield and score Russo. If Elena can hit it anywhere up the middle, shortstop, second base, Russo scores and puts the Spartans in a position to end this game in the 5th. That pitch is inside for ball 4. So Nutter will come to the plate for the 2nd time this inning. Kaylee started this big inning for the Spartans with a line drive home run over the Mather Park sign in left field. Nutter is the 10th batter of the inning. Russo at third, Steffes at first. Nutter will show bunt, pull back, the throw down to third, and everybody's safe. I am very impressed, and I've said it already, with Faith Kiko behind the plate. She's got a rocket attached to that right shoulder. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball in the infield. Shortstop back, center fielder coming in. And making the catch from center field in shallow center field is Faith Rakowski. And that's the second out of the inning. So it's up to Caitlin Lamb. Again, the storyline right now, if the Spartans can get one more run in, they'll be up 8 heading into the 5th. And if they could get to 8 in the lead and hold the Purple Raiders to no runs in the top half of the 5th, the game would be over. The 0-1 pitch. Counts even at 1. Foul ball. Counts at 1-2. There are 2 outs. If Lamb can get a base hit, she'll score 2, because with 2 outs, the runners are off and running. And Steffes, who is on at second, will certainly score. There's the base hit. That's a huge hit. 2 runs are going to score. Lamb with a solid single with 2 outs. And the lead is now 11-2. So let's take a look at this inning, the 4th inning. It started with a Kayla Nutter home run. The Spartans came into this inning with a (3-2) lead. In the inning, they've scored 8 runs. In the inning, they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. They've scored 8 runs on 7 hits, 3 doubles, and those doubles came in a row. Rieger, Berry, Russo, back to back to back. Nutter had a home run. Potts with a single. Jagoda with a single. And Caitlin Lamb with a single. So Nyla Durham will now run. She'll be at first base. Durham, first-year player out of Hoban High School. She's a speedster. And at the plate is Kella Jagoda. This is Hallie McCullough on the pitching rubber in the circle. Second pitch is high for ball 2. Everything is falling apart for Mount Union here in the 4th inning. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th. Spartans with 8 runs in the inning. Here comes the pitch. Durham's running. Throw from her knees is Kiko. And as strong of an arm as she has, that's a tough throw from her knees. A ball in the dirt. Tough one to handle if you're Faith. So Durham's in scoring position for Kella Jagoda. And Jagoda's in a hitter's count, 3 balls, 1 strike. Jagoda with a little slap, left field line, falls foul. There are 8 numbers on the infield by the backstop here right in front of the fans at home plate, and Jagoda's number is one of them. Those are the 8 seniors that were honored last weekend. Kella walks up on one. That's going to be a tough out. And there's defensive interference. Yep, they're going to say runner's interference. They're going to say the runner got in the way of the shortstop. And that's going to be an out, and that will end the inning. So the inning is over, but not after a lot of fireworks from Case Western Reserve. They score 8 times, and they make a 3-2 game into an 11-2 game as we head to the 5th, top of the 5th. Spartans 3 out away from wrapping this one up. Okay, so we've got all sorts of changes as we go into the top of the 5th. Elena Steffes is now behind the plate. Steffes is now catching for Caitlin Lamb. In right field is Nyla Durham. Durham replaces Steffes in right field. And on the mound for the Spartans is Kylie Hosey. Hosey replaces Lexi Miskey. So Hosey in the circle, Steffes behind the plate, and Durham in right field. Spartans are up 11-2. It was 3-2 heading into the bottom half of the 4th. Case Western with the lead. They scored 8 times. So now all Hosey and her teammates have to do is get 3 outs here in the top of the 5th, and this game is in the books. This is Adri George at the plate. George, the junior first baseman, 1 for 2 on the day. She's got a double and a run scored in the first inning and lined out to the shortstop in the second. Fly ball, foul territory. Russo gives it chase, and it falls uncaught. Hosey on the year. This is her 20th appearance. She has started 14 games for the Spartans. She's 12-1. 12 wins, 1 loss, 2.33 earned run average for Kylie Hosey. Hosey's been extremely successful in 70, now 6 innings pitched. She has struck out 45 batters. She's a changeup. She's a location and off-speed pitch type pitcher. There's another pop fly. Bellarusso in foul ground, fights the sun, catches the softball. It's the first out of the inning. And I also think that Kylie has been very helpful to the development of Lexi Miskey's changeup this season as well. Kendall Cahill the starting pitcher for Mount Union at the plate. Kendall has yet to officially get in at bat. She has 2 appearances, both walks. And the count's 1-1. Cahill just a sophomore. She's part of that sophomore-led Mount Union team. Six of the 9 starters for Mount Union today are sophomores. Kai Gross stays in front of it, over to Russo, and Cahill's down 4-3, and that's the second out of the inning. That brings Tori Sikafus to the plate.
Now batting for Mount Union, number 24, Tori Sikafus.
Tori on the day, 1 for 2. She's got a run batted in. Infield base hit in that first inning. She bunted, and it was just a few feet off the plate. Lamb had to stay at the plate for a force out, and Miskey had a long way to run from 43 feet away. Fly ball, Bella Russo going back for it, could end the game, and Russo in and out of her glove. It's a tough one. Bella running backwards, backstepping, leaving the dirt, going into the grass, fighting the sun. All that happened at the same time. Spartans 1 strike away from wrapping up their 32nd victory of the season. Here comes the pitch from Hosey, and it's outside. Hosey has the pitch, rock and fire. Here it comes, swung on and missed. And Kylie Hosey ends the game with a strikeout. The Spartans with an 11-2 win. They improved to 32-6 on the season.
The final score for today's game is Case Western Reserve.
The final score,
and Mount Union 2.
not indicative of the type of game that this was. It was 4-2 or 3-2 going into the bottom of the 4th. Spartans scored 8 times in the bottom of the 4th, and then got Mount Union 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th to close this one out in early innings. Next up for Case Western Reserve, next Saturday, doubleheader. First game starts at 1 against the University of Chicago. That's the next time you'll hear me. Next time we'll hear from Fast Eddie Karakis, and my partner Sarzucci will join us again. For the folks in the press box today, Jenna running the public address announcing, Nick doing the music, Charlie on the scoreboard, and my partner, Sports Information Director, Fast Eddie Karakis. My name's Ron Yance. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Final today, 11-2 Spartans over the Purple Raiders. Case Western Reserve now 32-6 on the season. Have a great weekend, everybody.